Morning, everybody. I'm sorry I could listen to Dr. Saraswati, Dr. Barad, and Dr. Dharmendra, and I missed out Wallace. But anyway, on the basis of whatever had said so, hello. Yes, on the basis of what discussed till now, I have a few questions here. This question, can I move on to the next slide?
Please carry on. Thanks
Now,
a lot.
this question leads me on to a few more questions as to when does the role of grammar begin in a second language user's life? As Professor Saraswati mentioned, and all the other speakers have been pointing out the use of communication. Now, I feel that communication starts right from the time the child starts speaking. He catches on to syllables in his mother tongue, and the syllables move on to further words and then phrases and clauses, and thereafter it comes on to a complete sentence. And this is how I think the child starts picking up his own language, his mother tongue. Now, the kind of exposure that the child has to his mother tongue is not possible in the other tongue, whether it is English or, for that matter, any other language. So there lies the problem. And that's the first thing that I want to highlight. The second thing is that today when we are talking about this obsession with grammar, that why are we so obsessed with grammar, that means we are not very pleased with this obsession of grammar. So why are we raising these questions? As Professor Saraswati in her talk mentioned, that today the need of the hour is communication. Dr. Dharmendra had a different view regarding communication when he mentioned that we cannot sacrifice or we cannot just compromise on grammar on the basis of communication. So here actually we are talking at in two different directions, I feel. The first thing I feel is that today, do we think that for the sake of communication we can give up grammar or we can postpone our learning of grammar? That's the first thing. And then what role does grammar play? Does it play a role in writing? Of course it does, and that is what our traditional grammar has been doing, and we take pride in our writing skills. Now, there are students. Now, Professor Saraswati's talk was basically concerned about students at the school level. Now, I have a question here that what about the students who go beyond the school? The undergraduates, the graduates, even the postgraduates, when they come on to facing competitive examinations, where the main focus is on vocabulary, grammar, and of course reading. So how well prepared or how ill prepared they are for all this? Does our system condition them on to face competitive exams of this kind, or are they forced to join coaching institutes where this kind of specialized training to face a competitive exam is given to them, and our system, our syllabus, our teachers in the classroom, neither at school nor at the college level are able to tackle that, because they strictly conform to a syllabus that they have to wind up. And so here this brings on to the purpose of teaching grammar, means to what extent should grammar be taught, when should it be taught, and for how long should it be taught. So these are things which I think need to be pondered over, and I would like my friends to enlighten me on this. And there are certain like we were talking about communicative language teaching, that that is the right approach today to teach grammar. Now in the chat also I raised this question, that if we conform to communicative language teaching, do we have time? Do we have the time to take on things in terms of CLT, because it's very time consuming, and then the teacher also needs to be trained for that. There is a specialized training to be given to the teacher, who most of the time till now, most of the teachers, they are conditioned to teaching English through the traditional grammar translation method. Now, are they prepared to deliver things in that manner through communicative language teaching, or is it simply an acronym? CLT is just an acronym that fascinates people and they don't know exactly what to do and how to follow that, because I think the teachers, they have a very little idea about what CLT is all about, except that they just know that CLT means that the student has to be made more communicative and all the tasks are to be related to that. Now, these are some of the things that I felt I should highlight on. And then I actually don't say that we need to suggest certain things, or I would be suggesting, but then there are certain points which I would like to highlight on, and I would like my friends to give their opinion on that. Dr. Dharmendra, you have just mentioned that CLT demands accuracy and fluency both. Actually, CLT, I would slightly differ here. I feel that CLT, the basic purpose of CLT is to bring about fluency. Accuracy, again, takes us back to grammar. So this is something which I feel is slightly different in terms of traditional grammar teaching. So what we need to ensure is that we need to maintain a kind of balance between the oral and the written word while teaching grammar. And this balancing has to be done by the teacher, because the student is too raw to maintain that balance or ensure that kind of balancing. So it is entirely the teacher who has to do that. And for this, if the teacher is prepared, if he is trained for that, then only he can ensure that balancing. Otherwise, he will either be focusing more on grammar or on pronunciation, or maybe take on to some translation of text and may not be able to maintain that. And then, as Dr. Dharmendra had mentioned in his talk regarding inductive teaching, so that is what, if we focus on CLT, inductive teaching has to be encouraged, because till now the traditional grammar works on deductive teaching more, and the teacher feels more comfortable. Now here, this is something which again I would like to emphasize on, and this comes out of my observation of teachers both at the school and the college level. The teachers feel more comfortable in teaching grammar because they feel that they have delivered something and they are more comfortable doing that, and the student also has a sense of achievement. So here, this is something which I feel has to be thought of, that how this is to be done. Yeah, thank you. Now, Dr. Saraswati also mentioned this, that before learning the rules of English, the learner should be grounded in the rules of L1. Now, this is something which I find missing in my students, because for them, English is not a second language. It's in fact a third language. It's a foreign language for them. The first basic language is their local mother tongue, and they are not even grounded in Hindi, which is for them a second language, and English becomes a third language for them. So when and their own vernacular, their own mother tongue probably does not have a very sound grammar. And secondly, the second language for them is Hindi. And when it comes on to Hindi, they are not even grounded in Hindi. So when we try to talk about this kind of embedding of rules by banking more on their L1 rules, that is also missing. In my students, it is missing. I don't know about the scenario out of Rajasthan, but in Rajasthan, this is very much true. And then one more thing that came to my mind was reinforcement. If at all we are teaching grammar, there has to be some kind of reinforcement, and that reinforcement, for that the teacher does not have time because of constraints to complete the syllabus, examination pressure, and then now because of CCE coming in to the schools. So I don't think the teacher has that much time for reinforcing. So at the school level, that's there, and the college level, the teacher takes it for granted that the student has learned that bit of grammar which is prescribed in the syllabus, because it's the bare minimum that they come up with in our university. which they have already learned. Those aspects of grammar they've already learned at the school stage, and the teacher takes it for granted. The student also feels quite comfortable thinking that yes, these are topics which I've already learned in my school days. As a result, that teaching and learning does not take place at the undergraduate level. Now I feel that when it comes on to rules of grammar, I feel I'm reminded of V.S. Naipaul here. Now Naipaul at one point says that I know the rules, and that is why I can bend the rules. Now for a creative writer, these rules are important because he knows how to tamper with the rules, how to manipulate that, and how to bring about that kind of creativity in his writing. And for a creative writer, for a specialized writer, or for a person who's going into a specialized field like creative writing, probably grammar becomes essential. And I feel that extensive training should be given in terms of grammar teaching for such kind of students. And I don't think that grammar should be loaded on to each and everybody. We can have some kind of segmentation even in the school. Up to say class 8, it can be mandatory for all, and thereafter we can branch it out, and we can ensure that some kind of specialized training comes on in terms of say grammar teaching, grammar learning, and writing skills. And for those who intend to go in for communication, I think for them also we need to have a specialized branching of communicative skills where fluency becomes important, where accuracy can be, in a way, we can ignore that, or I can't say ignore, but we can postpone that for a while. So this is what I thought I could just think of in terms of this topic about our obsession with grammar. Thank you all for this patient hearing. Over to you, Anita.